Hey, what's going on, everybody? Radio here, and we are back with some breaking news. Anthropic and the White House, they might be talking again. Things are going to be looking a little different than what they were. Some of you guys might know. Anthropic rebuked the Pentagon's deal to let them use Claude and their powerful models for whatever Pentagon saw fit. And they drew a hard line on certain activities that they didn't want to be associated with. Mass surveillance, autonomous weapons were two of the main ones. And Pentagon and the White House retaliated. They branded Anthropic as a what did they brand them as a supply chain risk. That's what they branded them as. They branded Anthropic as supply chain risks, which means anybody that does deals with the government and the Pentagon needs to remove Anthropic from their workflow, including the Pentagon and government themselves. They give them like a 6-month timeline to just be able to do it. But now, because of Claude Mythos and their latest models, they're supposedly so powerful that Anthropic and the White House met. They trying to come to an agreement so that the US government can secure its cyber defenses using Anthropic's new model. Before we even get into the story, and before we, I got a New York Times article that we're gonna be reading. Before we even get into that, how crazy gotta be this Mythos model? At this point, I don't even believe it's that good. It's like I feel like this is all like a giant marketing at this point. But at the same time, why would you meet with your worst enemies, the people that are trying to put you out of business and who are working directly with your competitors? Why would you meet with them trying to fix their cybersecurity issues? So there might be something to Mythos, but since we're all peons and regular people, we don't get to see behind the curtain, and we gotta wait for them to let us regular people, let us regular folks know, oh, how powerful these models are. We gotta wait. Anyways, yeah, let's get into it. White House and Anthropic hold productive meeting aiming for a compromise. Friday's meeting at the White House followed the introduction of Anthropic's powerful new artificial intelligence model, Mythos, which US officials believe could be critical for security. I love the fact that they got the audio for us to listen.
White House and Anthropic hold productive meeting, aiming for a compromise. This article is by Julian E. Barnes, Shira Frankel, and Tyler Pager, and read by an automated voice.
Thank you, automated
Anthropic's
voice.
chief executive met with White House officials on Friday for discussions that both sides described as productive, as the Trump administration...
You know when you sit down with an ex and you try to hash things up and you're not really, you weren't on speaking terms before, but now you're sitting down and you try to talk with them, try to talk to them, and you don't come to any agreement, but you both kind of air out your issues and it feels productive so that next time you guys can actually come to an agreement. This is what it seems like to me. It's like it's two jilted lovers that are meeting, and they're trying to kind of airing out their issues with each other so that maybe they could come to some sort of agreement down the line.
Works to forge a compromise that would bring the artificial intelligence company's technology back into the government, according to U.S. officials and others briefed on the matter. Dario Amodei, Anthropic's chief executive, met with the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and others, the people said. The meeting was both productive and constructive, the White House said in a statement, with conversations about how to collaborate and address the challenges of AI while exploring the balance between advancing innovation and ensuring safety. Anthropic said in a statement that the discussions had touched on key shared priorities, such as cybersecurity and AI safety.
I bet they didn't discuss the Pentagon thing at all. I bet they just didn't even mention it. It's just like Dario is just so scared that if they let Mythos loose, the freaking entire world's cybersecurity might come down. So he's just doing it out of a good of his heart. He's just doing it out of goodwill. He's like, I'm coming to you with in peace.
Anthropic had been effectively cut off from working with the federal government after battling with the Pentagon this year. The two sides disagreed in negotiations over a $200 million contract about the use of AI in warfare, with the Pentagon later designating Anthropic a supply chain risk. Friday's meeting was a potential first step to a deal. If officials reach a compromise with the company, it is likely to exclude the Pentagon, two officials said.
Interesting. So you still have the contentiousness within the Pentagon. I wonder what's gonna happen then. Is it gonna be like a special deal, like a limited time thing, so that they can bolster their cybersecurity, and then Anthropic goes back to being a supply chain risk? Who knows? But it is pretty interesting that the deal is excluding the Pentagon. So at least if you were worried that Dario and Anthropic kind of going back on their word, this kind of might reassure you that they don't want to deal with the Pentagon and the military, and this is strictly for the U.S. government cybersecurity and being able to bolster the security of our systems, so that we have a lot more defenses against hacks and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll see.
Some White House officials have argued that a fight with Anthropic is counterproductive and denies the United States some of the most powerful tech tools, officials said. This follows Anthropic's unveiling on April 7th of a powerful new AI model, Mythos, which is capable of identifying security vulnerabilities in software. Officials believe access to the model, which Anthropic has made available only on a limited basis, is critical to help protect government networks from cyber attacks.
Even if you thought Mythos was just hype and the way they were rolling it out is just all marketing and all that, the fact that they're going to the White House and they're actually telling them like, hey, you should definitely use this, tells me that they definitely got something there. Because why would you, if it wasn't that great? Why wouldn't you try to help everybody else out first before you give it out? And I don't think even if they release Mythos, it's probably gonna be like at the crazy enterprise level that you can freaking $1,000 per request or something. Like it's gonna be there's gotta be an insane model with like high cost to run.
Some White House officials were also frustrated that other officials had failed to find a way to de-escalate the contract fight with Anthropic, especially given the potential for Mythos to wreak havoc on computer systems, officials said. We look forward to continuing this dialogue and will host similar discussions with other leading AI companies, the White House statement said. Anthropic added that the meeting had reflected its ongoing commitment to engaging with the U.S. government on the development of responsible AI, and that it was looking forward to continuing these discussions. The White House meeting was reported earlier by Axios. Neither the Pentagon nor Anthropic had shown much willingness to settle their dispute. During contract negotiations, Anthropic had sought assurances that its powerful AI models, which until recently were the only ones allowed on classified computers at the Defense Department, would not be used for commanding autonomous lethal weapons or surveilling Americans. In response, the Pentagon said no private contractor could tell it how to use the technology. The fight came to a head on March 5th, when Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth labeled Anthropic a supply chain risk. The designation was previously used only for foreign companies that the government believed posed a risk to national security. Anthropic later sued the U.S. government over the designation in courts in California and Washington.
What a petty move by them, and what a stupid way to make enemies. And it's just ridiculous how the only way they could come to a deal is by bullying. And the fact that Anthropic set a hard boundary because they know how powerful and dangerous these models are, and the Pentagon outright refused those boundaries, just tells me they were gonna mass surveil everybody and they were gonna definitely use Claude to lead to command autonomous lethal weapons. Like, that's if those are the only two hard rules, and then you instinctively go, well, you can't tell me what to do. Well, we know what you were trying to do with those models then. What a shame, man. What a shame where it has to come down to this. It could be so much better. Everybody could be working together, but it is what it is.
Washington, D.C. Since then, Anthropic has told government officials that it is willing to provide access to Mythos to help agencies use the tool to find and fix potential vulnerabilities in software and computer networks. At the Pentagon, engineers who work with Anthropic are petitioning the department to keep using the company's technology, according to two officials who have participated in meetings about AI technology this month. While the engineers were not averse to using new AI models from other companies, they did not want to be cut off from Anthropic's technology, which is used to analyze intelligence and handle sensitive data. The engineers also urged the Pentagon to update to the newest Anthropic models available, the two officials said. Because the models are held on systems housed within the Pentagon, Anthropic cannot update them unless given access by defense officials, they said.
And the pace that Anthropic is updating its models, it's been pretty incredible. We just saw the release of Opus 4.7. I gotta tell you guys, Opus 4.7 is magnificent. Anytime I have any issue with the software or with a system that I'm trying to design, Opus just knows exactly where to go, what to do, and how to fix my problem. And if possible, I could just give it access and it will do it itself. It's just that sometimes it can't and it has to tell me what to do. But I want to, in the future, I want to be able to use Cowork and Claude Code, just so I can even utilize Claude even more in my day-to-day workflow. But so far, I had over the weekend I was using Opus 4.7, just trying to develop some small things and trying to automate some very, very small things, and it was just fantastic, man. It was great. It was great, and everything worked after a couple passes and just kind of going over everything, making sure all the systems are connected and all that. So they definitely have something with Claude that no other company has. It's a frontier model. It's the frontier model that I've seen, unless there is something even crazy. Well, not Mythos, obviously. I haven't seen Mythos, but Claude Opus 4.7, as far as models that are publicly available, it is the frontier model, and it's the cutting edge. And I feel like other companies can only wish if they could come close. Man. There's always some sort of a gap between them, and it used to be that ChatGPT was always first, but then Claude would always keep up. And this is like ChatGPT 4-ish days. And Claude was always just in the running, was always the runner up. But at some point, Claude just overtook ChatGPT, and it's been holding that number one spot ever since. It's only getting better. It's only getting better, man.
Senior Pentagon officials declined to talk about Anthropic, citing the ongoing lawsuits. The department is using an older version of Anthropic's Opus AI model than it would have had the dispute not occurred, current and former defense officials said. Other officials said they were pressing ahead with bringing models from OpenAI and Google to Pentagon computers, including a more advanced version of Google's Gemini that will be online for military use in the coming days. After Anthropic sued the U.S. government over the supply chain risk label, a judge in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California temporarily stopped the Pentagon from enforcing the designation in late March. In a separate ruling in the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit on April 8th, judges denied Anthropic's request to stop the Pentagon from labeling the company a supply chain risk.
Well, that's like a stalemate at this point, right? It's no one knows what the fuck's gonna happen. But if I was to guess, I think that Anthropic and the Pentagon will come to a deal at some point. And Pentagon is just gonna use a different model for the stuff that Anthropic is not gonna let them do, because the value of Claude and Anthropic's AI power is that much that they would definitely. I don't see them not working together in the future. And then you would ChatGPT 5.4 is pretty good, and the rumors are 5.5 is freaking amazing. So it's good enough. I feel like so that it can use 5.4 is good enough for mass surveillance, my friend. We don't need to. We don't need Claude Mythos to do the mass surveillance. Just 5.4 is good enough for autonomous killer weapons. I don't think Pentagon would need Mythos to run all those. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting development on this whole Anthropic and the Pentagon situation. Yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to talk about next. And until then, radio out.